views of your post, 1,336. That's a whopping number.
That's so far. It's my post today has been really, really, really popular. Now, let's have a really quick look at what you're doing on LinkedIn before we
Oh
talk
my
about
God.
searching.
That's
Um,
sometimes it
is,
makes me.
yeah, is that okay?
Yeah,
So you know that you need to look a little bit friendlier.
I know. You told me that. I just haven't taken a new picture. My younger daughter, who's the great photographer, I would later do that, but then that's on my list to do.
Yep. Even zoom it in. In the meantime, zoom it in closer. I don't want to see your whole jacket and tie. It's too formal, way too formal. I want you to look like somebody people would want to look for. So you want to look like somebody that people would want to work for. So you want to look warm and approachable.
Okay.
So zoom it in a little bit closer. And if you can, hit on the illumination button so you're lighting up your photo a little bit more. So click on illuminate. Now, I think your posts are great, but what I wanted to do today is, you put seeking new opportunities as a job. What I wanted to do is I'm really concerned about you posting on LinkedIn and yet you've only got quite a small number of connections. So what I really want to get out of today is how do we grow your network? So I really want to focus on tips and tricks you can use that. I think your posts are good, really good to have a question in there. I think that's fantastic. YouTube clips don't always do really well. So YouTube clips typically don't perform very well. Love to hear your thoughts. You're very good and great for you to be tagging people. So remember, trying to keep it sort of quite simple is a really good idea. Now, what I'd love to see you doing is to see you reaching out, connecting to people. Okay, so what I've got open here is a whole lot of scripts that you can use to reach out to people. So I'll send these to you.
Okay.
I'm always recommending to people that they should use scripts, but I also don't think you should use scripts. And what I mean by that is you always want to be customizing your message to somebody. You never want to be going just cut, paste, cut, paste, cut, paste. You always want to be making sure that you're tailoring what you're saying to everybody.
Yep.
But you also do want to be including in every single message your phone number and your email address.
Okay.
Because you never want to have somebody think, oh, Ganesh is just the right person that we want to be employing. We really want to be offering him a job, but I'm hungry and I'll head out to lunch and I'll hang on, my phone's ringing. And they just, it's too hard to find your contact details and they don't get round to it.
Okay.
So by making sure that you include your contact details everywhere, you're just flattening the path to being connected. You're just making it much easier for people to reach out to you.
Okay.
So there are standard things that you always have in every message, which is like an email signature. You always have your contact details.
Mm-hmm.
I also think that a lot of people overthink how they interact with people. And so they don't interact. They don't send personalized invitations to connect because they don't know what to say. So I think, have you ever found that?
Yep, absolutely. I can relate to that.
So I think when you have a script that you're using as a base and you're tweaking it for each person and you're writing something that sounds very authentic and very real to you, then you can sit down once a week, every week, look at who's looked at your profile, because you're already posting on LinkedIn and your posts are great. So look at who's looking at your profile on LinkedIn. You can reach out and send them invitations to connect. And when you've written something that's really great to someone, you're not reinventing the wheel by saying, oh, how did I send that invite to the other person? Because you've already got that script there. Do you know what I mean?
Okay. Got it. Okay. I think the number of views on my profile, they've either been my past colleagues or someone who have hidden their profiles, which means I cannot see them. It says an information technology consultant from yada, yada, yada is what I see. And I really do not know. A Karen Tisdale looked at my profile, therefore I should be sending an invite to her.
Yeah, great point. Have you got LinkedIn Premium or free?
Premium.
Premium, yes. So Premium will give you more views of who's looked at your profile. It's one of the great things about LinkedIn Premium.
Okay.
Some people are still hiding who they are. If it's a previous person who's worked with you, if it's a previous colleague, remember, you can always get out your phone and send them a voice message.
Okay.
Hi, I noticed you looked at my profile. Hope you're doing really well. Wonder how things are going for you.
Okay.
So you can always leave people a voice message, and that's really powerful for a number of reasons. One, leaving people a voice message on LinkedIn doesn't feel as formal as sending somebody an email. And another thing about leaving somebody a voice message is that it's a one-way communication. So, there's no obligation for them to reply. It's very warm. Voice messages, you can put a lot more personality into it. And it's a lot more trusted. We're so used to having written messages from chatbots and things like that. So much is automated these days.
Yep.
That, a voice message feels really, really strong. If somebody's looked at your profile and they're a previous colleague of yours, they may be looking at your profile because they know somebody who wants to employ somebody like you. Maybe not, but maybe. So it never hurts to just reach out and leave a voice message. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So what I want to show you to do is we need to write a script for reaching out to people who are, say, in your field and who are doing talent work.
Okay.
But great. So if we want to have a search for people who are, say, we want to look for people who've got talent. And this is very helpful if you don't have a strong local network. We're looking for a person who's got talent in their profile. We're looking for somebody who's based in Australia. We could always narrow it by city, but let's narrow it by city. Sorry, forgive me, Ganesh. I'm so used to working all around Australia. Are you in Sydney like me?
I am.
Okay, great. So I'll put Sydney. I'm so used to rarely leaving the house these days. I could search it by people I know or who they know. So your first network, who do I know who's got talent?
Okay.
Second network, who knows somebody that I know? But I'm not going to do that. And let's look at, so we're looking for somebody who's in
ICT.
ICT, but they might be in the recruitment and staffing industry.
Yeah.
So staffing and recruitment industry, recruiting. And we want somebody who's got talent. Now, it could be talent acquisition, it could be recruitment, it could be a range of different things. So I'm just going to search on talent and see who we can find. Great. So 502 people here who are head of talent acquisition at Macquarie Group. Now, some of these might not be right for you. This person is at Property New South Wales. So, some of these people, Caltex, so they might not be recruiting the right people. So let's see what other keywords we could put into this search. Now, you've got this search too. This is not just Sales Navigator.
Okay.
So if we take that out and go down to here, so maybe we want talent and technology. Remember, if our number is too small, we can always open this up to people who are around Australia.
Okay.
Oh, see, too small. We've only got 6 now. That's way too small.
Okay.
So let's look at people who are in Australia, not just in Sydney, who are doing something to do with talent and technology.
18.
Giving me only 18 results, but at least they're targeted. So these people are actually targeting talent in technology.
Okay.
So these are the people I would go out with first. Now, I would never just click connect, because if we think about how the average American, Australian statistics don't exist as far as I can see, the average American meets 80,000 people in their lifetime.
Wow.
So yes, it's like 15 people a week from the age of 16. So we are so connected with people, and we're meeting so many more people than our parents or our grandparents. So if we can search for people and personalize that invitation to connect, that personalized note reminds them in their messages, it stays in their history of how you connected with them. But it's also a touch point, which is why it's really important to be leaving those voice messages, to be reaching out to people and saying, I found an article that I thought might interest you. You want to really build those relationships and thinking of it as if it's a cadence of touch points. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
So when we're looking at people here, what I'm doing is I'm never just clicking on them. I'm always right mouse clicking. And I'm right mouse clicking so I don't lose my search. And then I'm clicking on here. I'm seeing if this looks like somebody that I might want to build a relationship with. And then I'm clicking add note. And then I'm going down into my scripts and I'm pulling something up here and I'm customizing it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep, absolutely.
And really customizing it to that person and making sure that, you know, with every time you're sort of customizing it, think, oh, that was a clever thing to say. And that sounds very authentic to me. Now, another thing you can do is you can also, so she wasn't posting anything on LinkedIn, but something that I like to do is I like to, when I'm looking at somebody's profile, I go down to their activity.
Yes.
Yes. Do you do this already, Ganesh?
I do. I saw your post some time ago. And so couple of connects, what I did, I searched up what they posted. And then I specifically mentioned, I loved your posting. And then I would like your post to come on my feed. And they did accept it because, and I personalized to the best extent possible. The funny part, I don't know if it's there is a math behind it. But those who probably I want to connect with in the target organizations, they are almost always busy, and I don't see much of activity on LinkedIn, as opposed to people that post regularly, but then their primary job is to post and then probably, you know, attract clients or, you know, share something in a, you know, towards something. So that is one observation I had, and which is where I was finding it a bit challenging. Okay, I want to be in this organization, but then I don't see many of them posting regularly on LinkedIn at all.
Yeah, so it's hard to get that periphery vision, absolutely. And that's why I think searching is so powerful, actually searching and finding an article that they like. And when you do want to send a note to somebody, making sure that you're supporting their posts. I mean, Zach's resharing posts here before I then reach out and click connect and add note. Absolutely. And I love how you're doing that. I love how you're being such a giver. You know, you really want to demonstrate that you are a giver. And to that light, you can also have a search for content. So you could find something that might be of interest, recruitment, technology. And I'm clicking on more, clicking on content, and I'm searching for content here that might be of interest to somebody I know. So since there's a lot of adverts for people, but let's say I'm finding something to do with technology trends, maybe. So have a search for content, and it doesn't have to be content on LinkedIn. Of course, you could find something that's in the AFR or something.
Okay.
So find different trends that you think are really, different posts that are really interesting. This looks like this one's really interesting.
Yep. Yep.
And you can then either find the original post, which is what I'd be inclined to do, find the source content, and then you can take that and you can send it to somebody that you're already connected to, saying, I thought you might find this interesting. I really enjoyed XYZ, just so that you're giving them a bit of a headline about it. And there's no, can you please offer me a job or da. It's just very, very, very light, and it's really coming from that place of giving.
Okay.
And, you know, and you're only doing this sort of once every, maybe sort of you do it once a month. So maybe you leave it sort of 4 or 5 months, and then maybe you leave it 3 weeks, and then maybe you leave it 2 months. So you're keeping it fairly infrequently. It's not like they're thinking, oh, it's Tuesday, I'm going to get an email from Ganesh. You know, you're really keeping it really light. And just giving without any expectation back, just to remind people that you're there, but also to enhance their own learning. If they're very busy, they wouldn't have seen it. And if they're working for a large company, their company might be putting out content that they themselves haven't seen.
Okay.
So you can even feed their own content back to them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay.
But let me just show you in my scripts, which I'll send to you, is you've got one in here that is actually called, I've got a whole load of things, and some of them are pretty old actually. So you could have a script that's something like this. I am a,
Okay.
but that's the only time you're asking something of them, and it's not even asking, you're not saying, please get back to me. The only thing you're asking is, I hope we can connect.
Okay.
So think about using the search tools to find and search for people.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Yeah.
I'll send it to you now so you've got some of it. But I'll also send you a copy of the recording as well.
Awesome.
So that you'll have a copy of, you click here, you click there.
Yep.
Does that sound okay?
That would really be helpful. Yep. Even though I made copious notes, but I think recording is always good. I'm more a listener than a reader.
Okay. I hope it helps, and look forward to seeing your photo closer up.
Absolutely. You got it.
Okay.